ranked 5th in the country. They scored 7. And that 7 came with 5 minutes and 32 seconds left in the football year. Everyone was wondering how good the how good the Pac-12 really was. And we wouldn't find out until they started playing each other. And we found out before they started playing each other what they really were. So, we look into week 8 and a lot of big games simply because of the way teams performed the week before. Because of the way teams performed the week before, Washington State hosts Colorado. USC travels to South Bend to take on Notre Dame. LSU travels to Ole Miss. How did they handle the success from last week? Oklahoma travels to Manhattan. Kansas takes on Kansas State after a tough rivalry game a week ago. Central Florida takes on the Naval Academy. Michigan State hosts Indiana. Syracuse travels to Miami after upsetting Clemson. Texas hosts Oklahoma State. And I believe game day will be in Happy Valley for the Penn State Michigan showdown. And a lot of questions swirling in Ann Arbor right now. And most around the head coach, Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh offense looks in reverse majority of the time. I was going to say neutral, but most of the time it looks in reverse. And I think the problem with the offense more than anything, I know that right now John O'Corn is not a great fit for the pro-style offense. He's a spread quarterback. And Jim Harbaugh's not going to change his pro-style power football philosophy. But they do not have a true identity. They don't have a true identity offensively. They don't have guys on the outside who can dominate you in one-on-one matchups, which is what you need in a pro-style offense. See, you can watch the spread, and majority of the time the play is designed to go to a specific person in the spread. That's why you see the guys come up there and they line up, and then all of a sudden everyone looks over to the sideline. They get the play. That's the adjustment, because the offensive coordinator has seen what the defense is in and what they're trying to do, and then he calls the play according to what the defense is showing, and it's a play designed to go to a specific person, and it's designed to get that specific person normally in space in a one-on-one situation. If he can make a guy miss, it's a big play, and if he can't, it's usually a minimal gain or a loss. And in a pro-style offense, you have to go through your progressions every time. Now, in the spread, yes, there's times where you have to go through your progressions. One isn't there, where's two, where's three, where's primary, secondary, however you want to say it. But majority of the time, in a pro style, and if you're not given the freedom to make changes at the line of scrimmage as a quarterback, which it doesn't seem that John O'Corn has been given those liberties and those freedoms, he's got to make the read pre-snap of where he wants to go with the football. And then once he snaps the ball, if it's not there, where do I go with the football now? And that's where he's struggling. That's where he's struggling. And he's also struggling because he doesn't have those guys that can win one-on-one matchups. And they do not know if they want to be a power football team or be a balanced football team. The play calling has been questionable at best throughout the year, but also the decision making at quarterback position has been questionable as well. So a lot of questions headed into a big game this weekend. And to be completely honest with you, Michigan's season is on the line here. They just dropped in the poll after a win on the road versus Indiana. They just dropped because they were not impressive. So it's going to be a lot of questions that will need to be answered this weekend for Michigan, but also Penn State, because Penn State at this point, they really haven't played anybody at this point. They haven't played anybody. So they'll get a true test this weekend versus Michigan, at least as far as Penn State's offense versus Michigan's defense. So, where does a lot of teams go from here? You look at the top 5 teams at this point, all are undefeated. And Wisconsin, the rest of the way, tough games versus Indiana, Iowa, and Michigan. But TCU, we've already talked about them. Georgia looked like they were going to drop the ball against Missouri for a while, and then just put the pedal to the metal and just sprinted away from the Tigers. But they still have the cocktail party versus Florida. They still have to go to Auburn. And they have a tough game against Georgia Tech. The triple option is always a tough offense to prepare for. And when that triple option is working at its best, it does keep another team's offense off the field. So, after 7 weeks, still legitimately 15 to 20 teams are alive in the college football playoff. But we're getting closer and closer to getting teams out of the picture. So here we go. Big weekend this weekend coming up. Again, USC, Notre Dame, to me, is probably going to be the best game as far as on paper is concerned. I expect Penn State to beat Michigan probably by at least 2 touchdowns. And not because of the Michigan defense. I think the Michigan defense will be the Michigan defense. But I do expect the Michigan offense to continue to struggle. And because they will continue to struggle, the defense will be on the field for a long time. And in the second half, Saquon Barkley just has a field day in the fourth quarter and breaks off a couple of big runs to secure a win for the Nittany Lions. So for me, USC, Notre Dame, the loser is probably done as far as making the college football playoff. The loser's done. Even USC as a two-loss Pac-12 champ, they're going to need a lot of help. But Notre Dame, they get a second loss, and they're definitely done. But that's going to be the biggest game of the week because of the playoff implications. Even Penn State with the loss to Michigan, they're still going to be in the hunt. So it's going to be a very, very, very interesting weekend. A lot of big games. So, and after last weekend, anything can happen in college football. So just be on the lookout. Stay tuned. My Western Conference preview of the NBA is coming up. I'll be doing that, and then I'm gonna do a special podcast on the most underachieving and most disappointing teams in the NBA from the 90s and the 2000s. We get into that. So be on the lookout. But for now, this is your boy Tyrese Biv signing off. Another perspective.